Stories tonight. President Dr. Samia advocates for African resources for Africa.
Together, we can take our relations to greater heights.
AIM Global Prime Minister says as the world awaits Kiswahili Day. Good evening, I am Nasa Kingu. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBConline, and also get all the latest through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages, all at TBConline. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan says Malawi Independence Commemoration Day is the reminder to the African continent that it must continue to utilize its resources for the development of its nations. President Dr. Samia was addressing Malawians on their Independence Day celebrations in Lilongwe, and she promised Tanzania will continue to cooperate with Malawi.
The independence of Malawi meant and continue to mean a lot. As neighbors, your independence completed ours, and your progress impacts our progress. What is incumbent upon us as leaders is to continue to sustain the momentum and provide the leadership. The good chemistry between us gives me confidence that no amount of challenge is insurmountable, and no mountain will be too tall to climb, and no rock shall be hard to break. Together, we can take our relations to greater heights.
On the other hand, the president of Malawi, Lazarus Chakwera, says after 59 years of independence, his government is focusing to improve all sectors, including tourism, to foster development to the nation.
Our ATM strategy of attracting investment into the sectors of agriculture, where we are pursuing the establishment of mega farms, tourism, where we are attracting visitors from targeted markets, and mining, where we have discovered rich minerals that will change the fortunes of Malawians.
Yes, Malawi got its independence on July 6, 1964. Now, from Lilongwe, Malawi, we go all the way to Zanzibar, where the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa directs all ministries responsible for the growth of the Kiswahili language in Zanzibar and the mainland to ensure they put in place a strategic plan to make the language spread all over the world. Here is a report by Nasra Hatib, read by Faida Ngaga.
As the world awaits to celebrate Kiswahili Day, the National Kiswahili Council, BAKITA, and the Zanzibar Kiswahili Council, BAKIZA, say they will organize discussions and debates aiming to develop Kiswahili language proficiency for students. More than 60% of students did not use proper and standard Kiswahili, but instead they used colloquial language. Most of our students cannot properly use punctuation marks. So this was also one of the things that were considered in marking the essays. Students also could not use diction. They find it difficult to arrange sentences in a way that they provide a complete thought. Kiswahili is an economic opportunity. A lot of success has been attained by our Kiswahili councils, and this includes the whole process of turning Kiswahili into a commodity. Kiswahili is a source of employment. For instance, interpreters are needed both within and outside the country. Also, experts in journal writing are needed. The Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa gives a directive to all the ministers responsible for the development of the Kiswahili language.
We need to set a strategy to promote Kiswahili from the school level. But also motivation should be given to those who are doing well in promoting it. The responsible ministries should also seek for employment opportunities around the Kiswahili language.
The Minister of Energy, January Makamba, says 6 ministers from Tanzania and Zambia are expected to meet in Dar es Salaam tomorrow to discuss the safety matters of the Tazama pipeline after the transformation from transporting crude oil to refined diesel. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam, insisting that the discussion will set means and methods of protecting the pipelines from any act of unlawfulness.
We set a plan on how to protect Tazama pipeline, which most of its parts is in Tanzania, and in forest which need enough protection.
On the other hand, the minister says there will be a discussion on construction of 2 new pipelines special to transport oil and gas from Tanzania to Zambia, following increase in demand of the products in the Great Lake region.
Also, we will discuss the suggestions given by our professionals on how we will construct a new pipeline of oil and gas.
Hii ni miradi mikubwa na muhimu ya kimkakati kwetu.
He adds that the Mwalimu Nyerere hydropower station water level has reached 162 cubic meters and is ready to generate electricity from June next year. The Deputy Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Engineer Kundo Matthew, says the government will continue to amend irrelevant media laws to promote professionalism in the country. Closing the special program organized by Internews organization dubbed Boresha Habari, Engineer Kundo asserts cooperation between the government and the private sector is crucial to improve the interest of journalists. Lulua Muhammad has more details.
The journalism industry continues to grow day by day due to the advancement of science and technology. The project of named Boresha Habari that targets to boost the profession in the country is officially closed today by the Deputy Minister Kundo Matthew, where he insists that the government will continue to amend unfriendly media laws to promote the profession.
In the past, before the change in the law, the Director of Information had the ability to choose who to provide information to the public. But now that has been removed. Everyone will have access to information in the sense that the media will have equal chances of receive and give information. Information is a product that has an impact on the national economy.
On the other hand, the chairman of Tanzania Editors Forum, Deodatus Balile, urges journalists to learn more about artificial intelligence technology in order to avoid misinformation, while some representatives of media institutions explain what they have achieved through the training.
Technology is changing very fast, and the world now is passing through artificial intelligence technology. Artificial intelligence technology has a very high precision, and the users of artificial intelligence can doctor, can crop, can place, can misplace, can disinform intentionally. So whenever we are getting news stories, especially videos and the photos, we have to be a bit keen and curious to make sure that what is communicated is what was intended to be communicated.
Most of our ideas, and we have seen success, and these are things that, if I look at it right now, it makes me happy that it's really changed. But we understand this area needs more in-depth knowledge, more in-depth trial and errors of different methods media can leverage, and we thank Internews for allowing us every time to come up with new ideas and try
to produce high quality content as well as supporting the investigative stories. And we are doing analysis a few days before the Press Freedom Day. With all the support of Boresha Habari and other partners, we have trained more than 1,500 journalists, and more than 2/3 were supported by Boresha Habari.
Agnes Kayuni is the chief of party of the Boresha Habari program, says the journalists who have gone through the training have benefited in many ways, including increasing media marketability.
Again, is to really thank you all, our dear partners, for being, at the forefront. There has been lots of challenges, but today we are looking at the lessons as well as the success. which we are going to carry forward for generations to come.
The program has been funded by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the Swiss Development Corporation, SDC.
And I commend again the government of Tanzania for moving forward in so many important ways, certainly over the last couple of years in particular, in moving forward the agenda, and look forward to, of course, the close collaboration and partnership going forward.
Recently, we have seen the improvements in the regulatory environment, both in mainland and Zanzibar. So just a few of the examples which show like what kind of great work we have been doing. So yeah, in this short time, we are being very proud to be your.
Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Lulu Mohammed, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Lulu Mohammed. Deputy Minister for Minerals, Dr. Stephen Kiruswa, says the sale of minerals out of the country in 2022 has generated revenue amounting to $3,395.5 million, equivalent to 56% of total export compared to $3,116.4 million in 2021. He made the remarks on Mining Day commemorated in Dar es Salaam, targeting to discuss opportunities and challenges related to the development of the mining sector in the country. The Deputy Minister adds that gold contributes 80% of all export sales.
Gold contributes the highest to the economy among all minerals. It contributes 8% of all minerals. Tanzania is endowed with a variety of minerals. Various efforts are done by the government in order to ensure that other big projects are established aiming at extracting strategic and rare minerals so as to grow the economy.
On the other hand, Geita Administrative Secretary Professor Gedius Kayarara says that the mining sector is pivotal to foster the development of other sectors, including industrial sector, disclosing that 60% of the income in the Geita Regional Council is contributed by the mining sector.
Geita cannot survive without the mineral businesses. There are 6 municipal councils there, the one that are near mine areas. 60 to 70% of their income is generated by mineral sectors. We are currently building a modern airport at Geita, and the money used to come from the mining sector.
Currently, the mining sector contributes approximately 9.1% to the total national income, witnessing growth from 9.4% in 2021 to 9.10% in 2022. Experts from the University of Dar es Salaam say the Ruvuma River Basin has high potentials of oil. This follows research they have conducted, which is named Petroleum Systems and Hydrocarbon Potential of the Ruvuma Basin in Tanzania. They call on investors to utilize the findings of this research to boost productivity upon investment. Our reporter Faithan Gaga met with the experts from the University of Dar es Salaam and has prepared the following report.
Research initiatives by the University of Dar es Salaam have been set in motion to assess the capacity of rock formations to generate oil. The main objective of the research was to identify particular regions with significant potential for oil. Rachel Sabuni is a PhD student at the University of Dar es Salaam.
This time, we're showing the findings of our research that aims at looking at the potentiality of our rocks in Tanzania to generate oil. Because now we know that we're in oil crisis, the price is very high, and we all know that Uganda have found oil, so everyone is under pressure looking for oil. So we cannot start looking for oil without assessing the potentiality for our rock to generate oil. Once we know our rocks has the potentiality to generate oil, that's when we know where to start looking for. So what we did, we collected samples from different places, from Tanga Basin, Rufiji Basin, and Ruvuma Basin. And all these areas, it's only in Ruvuma Basin where we discovered that our rock has highest potentiality to generate oil. And it shows that it's matured and most of oil were generated. But the question still remains, if the oil were generated, where is it?
Investors in the oil and gas sector worldwide are called to add value to this project that the University of Dar es Salaam has started in order to take it farther to the next step due to the economic advantage that it has.
We are telling investors, we know the places that has higher potentiality for oil. If they are coming to invest, if they are very interested looking for oil, so we tell them where to look for. So we have all this data that can help them.
On the other hand, Dr. Doto Kuhenga, the head of communications and marketing at the University of Dar es Salaam, here elaborates more that the University of Dar es Salaam has to offer at this year's Saba Saba International Trade Fair.
So we are also offering free legal and business clinic services. We're also doing counseling service. We have our counseling unit here offering services. The unit has actually been holding sessions with people with different problems, and therefore they are given a chance to actually talk to our experts. But also we have the business clinic where we are offering advice and many other kind of service related to business, and many people have been coming here to get this service.
Faida Ngaga, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Faida Ngaga. Great news there for the residents of Ruvuma and Tanzania in general. The Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office, Policy, Parliament and Coordination in charge of disaster management, Dr. Jimmy Yonas, says in this fiscal year, the government plans to cooperate with other stakeholders inside and outside of the country to improve the department. He has made the remarks in Dar es Salaam while visiting the Dar es Salaam International Trade Fair, insisting that this fiscal year the government has allocated enough funds to deal with the disasters and assist other neighboring countries.
We have the Act, but also we have the preparedness in terms of systems, ICT systems, electronic systems that are facilitating us on how we communicate early warnings and disasters in a country. But again, we are building capacity across the government on how to identify, but again, how to respond to disasters when they happen. So today what we are doing here, we are educating the public on how the preparedness of the government is, but their role on how to participate whenever disasters happen.
On top of that, the Permanent Secretary adds that his department has also invested enough in information technology systems as a tool to deal with the disasters.
We have the most modern, the most advanced center in Tanzania that can also help neighboring countries on how to respond and mitigate disasters in their country. So we have a big vision, and we believe that Tanzania is going to be one of the best centers for disaster management in Africa.
Comparing Tanzania with other African countries, Yonas assessed that Tanzania has made huge progress in investment in the area, targeting to lead the sector across the continent. Rice farmers from Sumbawanga Urban in Rukwa region say the market for the product increases day by day because they do not use industrial fertilizers and toxic pesticides in their farms. Jose Acheo from Rukwa region has more details on that.
The Rukwa region is one of the regions in the country that produces rice in a great quantity. Unlike other regions, rice farmers in Rukwa region do not use industrial fertilizer and pesticides during rice production.
We usually plow with the help of cattle. Moreover, we use nursery farming. We also do not use fertilizers.
Farmers here do not use pesticides and other chemicals in farming. They only use regular rainwater for farming. When there is plenty of water, the rice turns out to be in good quality, and the vice versa is true. We have great expectations this year with regards to the quality of Rukwa rice. The rice from Rukwa is delicious. It has great aroma.
Rice sellers at Katandara Market in Sumbawanga town says rice prices have continued to decline despite the demand for rice from Rukwa, both inside and outside Rukwa region.
Sasa mchele ya bei za jumla ni kuanzia 2200, 2100.
The wholesale price of rice ranges to 1,200 shillings to 1,800, depending on the quality of the rice, and then it is followed by mid-range price. All of these are available massively.
The awareness of the value addition of the rice produced in the Rukwa Lake Basin has been great now in many areas of this basin. Production has increased. Jose TBC News, Rukwa.
Thank you very much, Jose Acheo from Rukwa region. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled by Dorothy Mari and read by Faidan Gaga.
The World Health Organization, WHO, and its partners say around 18 million doses of the world's first malaria vaccine will be delivered to 12 African nations by 2025. Among them are Malawi, Ghana, and Kenya, where the Mosquirix vaccine has already been used in pilot schemes. With demand outstripping supply, priority will go to countries with the greatest need and where maximum impact will be achieved. Mozambique and Sudan have been excluded because of their high vaccine dropout rates. The WHO says the vaccine developed by the British firm GSK could save one life for every 200 children vaccinated. 17 people have died following the gas leak at the informal settlement in Boksbark, east of Johannesburg in South Africa. It is suspected that members of the community inhaled nitrate oxide from a leaking gas cylinder, which is suspected to have been used for illegal mining activities. Emergency services say the gas leak happened at one of the shacks in the settlement where the mining activities took place. 11 people were rushed to hospital and 3 remain in a critical condition. A search and rescue operation is ongoing at Lake Victoria after a boat carrying 11 people, charcoal, silverfish, and personal belongings capsized on Wednesday. According to Ugandan police, the boat was heading from Kiseba Islands to Katose in Mukono. 6 individuals were rescued by another transport boat, but 5 people remain missing, and the police marines are conducting an operation in the waters to locate them. A similar accident took place in the lake on Tuesday evening when a boat ferrying a load of foodstuff from Kasi Islands to Katose in Mukono district capsized with 2 people on board.
That was international news as compiled by Dorothy Murray and read by Faidan Gaga. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the Big Bullets head coach Clisto Pasua says the friendly international match between his team and Dar es Salaam Young Africans has given his players experience on how to approach big games, especially CAF Champions League next season. Speaking after the match, Pasua adds that his players have learned how to play under pressure.
The more you keep possession, the more you can win a game. So it's game management. Mostly you saw how Yanga were. They're very comfortable with the ball. They will play it out. They want to invite you to come to them, then they attack spaces. And or even they can catch you on the break, which is one thing which they managed to contain. Yes, so far so good. I'm happy about the boys.
Most of our players who played in this match, they lack the international experiences. When you play international match, you should focus. We respected our opponent and played our game. Our players followed young Africans playing catcher. I hope that they have learned from this match.
Hadi dakika 90 ni kwamba tumetoka bila. Kwa hiyo nawapongeza, wamefanya kazi nzuri.
Young Africans were invited to play the international friendly match in celebrating 59 years of Malawi independence. Young Africans Director of Members and Funds, Haji Mfikirwa, challenges local and international investors to manufacture sports kits locally. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, Fikirwa adds that Tanzania has a big market for the jerseys, and if any investor invests in the country, is bound to get huge profits.
It is very important to have our own local industries for manufacturing jerseys for our club, rather than importing jerseys from outside the country. This will help economic growth for our nation. So it is very crucial to see our own industry because we have all reasons to have them.
Young Africans introduced a new kit in Malawi as they were invited to play an international friendly match to celebrate 59 years of Malawi independence. And that's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, welcome for the next 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Teleza Ngasa. By starting with the windy flow pattern, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 40 km per hour from south direction over the entire coastal belt, and TMA is issuing a warning of period of strong winds which are expected to reach 40 km per hour and large waves which are expected to reach 2 meters over northern coasts, which include Tanga, Pemba, Unguja, Isos, Dar es Salaam and Pwani region. Also, TMA is issuing an advisory of period of strong winds which are expected to reach 40 km per hour and large waves which are expected to reach 2 meters over southern coast, which include Mtwara and the Lindi region. Therefore, precautive measures are advised to be taken. And for tonight, it is an expectation that the lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 5 degrees Celsius over Mbeya region, and most areas of our country are expected to feature partly cloudy condition. And for tomorrow, it is an expectation that areas over Tanga, Pemba and Unguja, Isos, Dar es Salaam and Pwani region are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over few areas. The remaining part of the country is expected to feature partly cloudy condition. And now let's take a look on the 4 days weather forecast.